Jaylon Smith's days in Dallas have come to a close as the former Pro Bowl linebacker was released yesterday, despite him being part of the team's hot 3-1 start. Former Cowboy Dez Bryant reacted to the news, tweeting, quote, "I understand it's a business, but you don't mess with a team whenever everything is going right." That's a good point. Skip. Does Dez have a point in your eyes?
Shannon Sharp. Many, many times I have rolled my eyes at something Dez Bryant has tweeted. Last week, I did more than roll my eyes at something Dez said about Colin Kaepernick on a podcast. Don't get me started on that, because that's not the point of what we're about to discuss.
Okay.
But for the first time and maybe ever, this tweet hit me the right way. Because I thought, I understand it's a business, says Dez, but you don't mess with a team whenever everything is going right. I just made a case to you 2 topics ago. I believe my Dallas Cowboys have played at the highest level of any team through 4 games in the National Football League. It is working. It is eye-testing at the highest level. And wait a second, after a 3-1 start, which included an opening night loss at GOAT, you cut a defensive captain, a team leader. If we could see once again Jaylon Smith playing hype master in the big sideline huddle just before the kickoff this past Sunday against Carolina, this is Jaylon Smith. He is leading the charge. He is chanting the chant.
Dak
is hyped.
Yeah.
Look, we're headbutting.
Yeah.
That's Jaylon Smith this past Sunday before the Carolina game, for which he was named a defensive captain. He's gone. He's cut. He's out the door. And I'm saying there's much truth to what Dez tweeted, because if it ain't broke, I don't want to try to fix it after 4 games. It was working, and I told you to start this show off. If you put me on a lie detector right now as a diehard, lifelong Dallas Cowboy fan, would I rather have Jaylon or not have him? I would rather have him. Again, I don't want him to be an unhappy camper. I don't want him to make waves in the locker room if he's not getting to play. And his snaps got reduced pretty dramatically on Sunday.
And it was only going to get worse for the weeks to come.
You well could be right. But he contributed at a very high level at Chargers. He had 9 tackles with 6 of them solo. He was actually very good. In fact, next to Micah, I thought he did the most disrupting on defense at Justin Herbert. He played high snaps, played 50 snaps on Monday night against Philadelphia. They got reduced. I give you that against Carolina. They are loaded at linebacker. They're actually loaded everywhere in the defensive line. But still, injuries are going to happen. You know it, and I know. I'm going to knock on wood. COVID is going to strike again. You know it, and I know it. I'm going to knock on wood again. I'm just shocked that they did it now. I'm not surprised, because last year Jaylon Smith was a disaster.
Right.
I just saw some rejuvenation. Right. You already paid him his 7.2 because it's guaranteed. So you're going to lose it one way or the other. He's going to get it one way or the other. So, again, if you pushed me, in the end, I'd say I'd keep him. But you know, and I know what the biggest problem lurking out there is, that
the injury
if he gets hurt, it triggers a guaranteed 9.2 for next season. That I don't want to live with, and I guarantee you Jerry and company don't want to live with that, because that could actually help wreck your cap going into next year. So they just said, we don't want to risk it anymore. And yet, as a fan, I don't want to risk losing Jaylon Smith this early. It seems like you could have at least waited a few more games. I know you're daring the devil on the injuries.
Right.
But to me, he was playing so well, even as a backup. He didn't start a game unless they know something I don't know, which is that he would become a locker room problem. But I haven't seen that from him. We had him on the show 2 Super Bowls ago in Miami, and I liked him.
Yeah, I did too.
And I talked to him after the show, and he's a good kid. And I think he is a team leader.
In the Dallas area for minority businesses.
And he has a lot. And he said remember, Jerry gave him a big new deal in 2019 when he made the Pro Bowl. And he said at that point, I want to be a lifetime Dallas Cowboy, and I want to be a captain of the Dallas Cowboys. Well, he achieved that, and then Jerry sent him packing. Again, not surprised, but shocked at the timing of this. And it leaves me just a little bit queasy. What if we need him? What if a couple of linebackers do go down and all of a sudden you're hard-pressed to fill those shoes? Well, you want to talk about a quality backup? He's about as quality backup as you can get.
Well, Skip, the way I disagree with Dez, because I don't believe the Cowboys would trade him if they thought he was a major contributor. And as everybody understands, yes, this is a business, a bottom line business. And the question is, can Jaylon Smith give us the same or better production than Keanu Neal?
No.
Van Der Esch?
No.
Michael Parsons?
Absolutely not.
So,
and probably not on Jabril Cox. He's a young stud.
So that's
remember, they stole him in the 4th round. Remember, he started at LSU and then he wound up at North Dakota State. So he kind of got lost in the shuffle a little bit.
And then Skip, that's always kind of a flag.
No.
You had a prominent program like this, and you go down there. Wow, what's going on?
Right. And as we spoke about Trey Lance, they played one game during the pandemic. Last year.
So in a situation like that, Skip, but the mere fact that the Cowboys felt this strongly and was willing to eat this contract, as you said, this money is guaranteed. He was on the roster opening day. So he gonna get his money, he gonna get all of it. So for me, it tells me that
and by the way, quick point.
Go ahead.
He hasn't missed a game. He came off, obviously, a career-threatening, if not career-ending knee injury in the bowl game in the Fiesta Bowl for Notre Dame.
Notre Dame, correct.
And he fought back. Jerry took a second-round flyer. He missed the whole 2016 season. Then he came back strong 2017, 18. Here he went. He hasn't missed a game. He started for 3 straight years and didn't miss a game. So what's the injury risk on him? What percentage? Well, I don't even know how to put a percentage on it because you just don't know.
It's football.
It's football.
And you could be Skip. You go 10, 15 games and not even have a tweak, and then
boom.
It happens. And so for me, I get it. But this is because the positions are valuable, Skip, and all these other guys, with the exception of Michael Parsons, gonna play special teams for you. Can Jaylon play special teams for you? How valuable is, because Skip, we saw how
he won't.
That's why you only carry 2 quarterbacks.
They have another linebacker named Luke Gifford. I don't even know him, but he's a good special teams player. But he could step in a pinch. But he's just playing special teams.
Positions are valuable, Skip.
Jabril Cox is playing special teams.
Yes, we saw what happened Monday night. The Raiders lose two DBs, Skip. Now imagine if you had a quarterback that was not going to play. That's a spot. So you got to be. So how? I mean, okay. And like I said, do you really want a guy that's been, and he's been a good player for the Cowboys. I'm not saying he's been great, but he's been a very good player for the Cowboys. Can you, like, DNP, coach's decision, have him practice all week, Skip, and not play? And I think that's Jerry's like, you know what, I got too much pride, I got too much respect for you to do that. Because it's not like he's not going to get his money. He's going to get his money. And he might get a chance to get picked up by somebody else that can, use a linebacker. Skip, and he's not what he once was. His speed is diminishing. He's getting worse in space. And so I think those are some of the things that factored into it. And like, you don't mess with things that are going right. The Cowboys are asking themselves, of what we have going right, how much does Jaylon Smith have to do with it? And so those are the questions that you have to ask yourself.
It's a fair point, and I'm trying to embrace your point here to get out of my.
You superstitious.
Well, I'm queasy right now. Really, we did that?
Yes, because you're superstitious.
But the silver lining is,
what's that?
We're loaded. We're just loaded. Well, that's why they were able to do it. They said, we don't need Jaylon Smith, the guy who made Pro Bowl in 2019, who actually had a decent game at Chargers. We don't need him.
But you said it yourself. You saw, he made the Pro Bowl in 2019. Probably should have made it in 2018.
The last year.
You saw 2020.
It was terrible. It was chicken with head cut off. He was lost, and he lost a step. Well, that's a lethal combination. You can't read and react, and you've lost a step.
And I believe Van Der Esch, because remember, they didn't pick up the 5th-year option on Van Der Esch. So there's a great chance that he's going to be out of there after this year.
I got it. Last quick point. Jerry, he showed me a little something making this cold-blooded move, because what do we always criticize him for? He treats all these players like a son.
And sometimes he hold on too long.
I think he loved Jaylon Smith.
I believe so, too.
Yeah, and he called him in yesterday, and I don't know how that conversation went, but it couldn't have been a pretty one.
Normally, oh, I was gonna say, Skip. Normally that's the general manager, but damn,
well, he
Jerry.
is. There you go.
Normally the owner is not calling a player in on the day off, Skip, and releasing him. But I forgot, like Jerry got like 4 hats. We say he wears 2 hats. Now Jerry got 4 hats.
Owner and operator of the Dallas
Cowboys. Not an easy conversation to have. Guys, Shannon's Lakers made several splashes this summer, but weren't chosen as free agency darlings. Chris Broussard will join us. Let's get his thoughts on the moves as well next.
No mercy, no mercy.